you guys, it's me, Aunt Shelley. Thanks for stopping by for our next book, which is number, I think, 15. Um, Happy April Fool's Day. A not April Fool's joke is that I'm going to read from my tablet again today. And so you won't get to see a whole lot of this, but you'll get to see more of the pictures, which is awesome. It's really bright over there. We're gonna get started. I'm gonna read The Bernstein Bears, No Girls Allowed, which was one of my favorites when I was younger. And here we go. The Bernstein Bears, No Girls Allowed by Stan and Jan Bernstein. Is it so important that he and she bears aren't the same, when what really matters is how we play the game? Ever since Sister Bear had been a tiny cub, she liked to tag along and play with Brother Bear and his friends. It was a bit of a nuisance because she slowed down their running. "Wait for me!" Interfered with their climbing. "Not so high!" And messed with their marble games. "Oh, that slipped." But as she grew older, things changed. She still liked to tag along with her older brother and his friends, and it was no longer a bit of a nuisance. It was a big nuisance. She got to be a fast runner and outran Brother and his friends. "Look at her go," said Papa. She got to be a good climber and outclimbed them. "Oh dear," said Mama, "I do wish she would be more careful." And she won all of their marbles. "Goodness, I hope they're not playing for keeps," said Mama. "It certainly is good to see Sister and Brother and their friends playing so nicely together," said Papa. "Look, they're organizing a baseball game." "Yes," said Mama, "but it does worry me just a little that Sister is the only girl in the group." "No, Mama," said Papa. "It's not whether you're a he or a she that counts. It's how you play the game. Look, she just hit a home run." "I agree," said Mama. "But think back. How would you have liked it when you were a cub if some little girl could outrun, outclimb, and outhit you?" Papa thought for a moment. "I wouldn't like that at all," he said. Brother and his friends didn't like losing either. And what made it worse was the way Sister celebrated every time she won. So it looks like she's gloating. Her victory dance and cartwheels were annoying, but it was the war whoops that really got on everyone's nerves. Which a war whoop is probably like, "Woo, woo, I won, woo, woo." Then one day, when Sister was planning to tag along as usual, her playmates were nowhere to be seen. No matter, she thought, and went about her business. She picked wildflowers for Mama and jumped rope with some butterflies. When there were no cubs around the next day, she was puzzled. But there was plenty to do. She had a tea party for her dolls and read some books. But on the third day, she began to wonder what was going on. "Where are those cubs?" she said out loud. They weren't in the old climbing tree. They weren't playing marbles. And they certainly weren't on the baseball field. As she stood on the deserted field, wondering where everybody was, she heard voices. They sounded like cubs' voices, and they were coming from the thicket. So a thicket is kind of like really thick bushes. She followed the sound into the thicket. What were those cubs up to? When she reached the edge of Frog Pond, she found out. What they were up to was building a secret clubhouse on Berry Bush Island in the middle of Frog Pond. And it had peepholes, watchtowers, and a little bridge that was almost like a castle. What a wonderful surprise! "Hi, gang!" she shouted. She was so excited that she did her celebration dance, complete with cartwheels and war whoops, but Brother and the other boys didn't answer Sister's happy cry. Instead, they ducked inside and reached out and put the finishing touches on their new clubhouse, a sign that said Bear Country Boys Club, no girls allowed. As Sister stood there trying to think what to do next, there was a creaking sound. The bridge was a drawbridge, and they were cranking it up. She was heartbroken. "It isn't fair," she wailed as she ran home from the thicket. "You're absolutely right," roared Papa. "It isn't fair. Come, we're going back there to make them take you into their silly club, and if they don't, I'm going to tear the clubhouse limb from limb." But Mama stopped them. "I don't think that's the answer," she said. "Those boys are being very unfair. Sometimes boys act that way. So do girls. But whoever does is wrong. The important thing is not whether you're a boy or a girl, but the sort of person you are. And, be that as it may, you can't make cubs want to play with you." "No," said Sister, "but you could tear them limb from limb. Come on, Papa." "Wouldn't it be a better idea," suggested Mama, "for you to form your own club and build a secret clubhouse of your own?" "Could I?" asked Sister. "This old climbing tree might be a good spot for it," said Papa, "and I'll help." "Terrific," said Sister. "The first thing we'll need is a big sign that no boys allowed." "No," said Mama. "The first thing you need for a club is members." That part turned out to be easy. News of the No Girls Allowed Club traveled fast, and there were quite a few other sisters who didn't like the idea of being left out. They had lots of good ideas. Lizzie made a rope ladder, and they could wind it up when they didn't want visitors. Ellen brought a spyglass to keep for keeping watch. And Marcia had the best idea of all, a tin can phone system. That's what we did, you guys, before there were cell phones. We had tin cans or walkie-talkies. Rachel and Kathy and Nana will remember. With Papa Bear's help, they built a very fine clubhouse high in the old climbing tree. "Now for that sign," said Sister. "Those boys were just being mean because I out-hit them and outwon their marbles. They're bad losers." "I suppose that's true," said Mama. "But you know there's such a thing as a bad winner, too. Someone who makes big, braggy show every time she wins." Sister Bear knew exactly who Mama Bear was talking about. "But it still isn't fair," Sister said. "Well," said Mama, "I think we can work things out. But first we have to celebrate the opening of this very special clubhouse with some very special refreshments, barbecued honeycomb and salmon." Now, if there's anything cubs are crazy about, it's barbecued honeycomb and salmon. Girl cubs and boy cubs. So Papa loaded up the barbecue. The yummy smells reached into the thicket and floated right under the noses of the members of the Bear Country Boys Club, who followed their noses back to where the members of the Bear Country Girls Club were pulling up their rope ladder. "Something sure smells good," said Brother, speaking into the phone. The girls took a vote and decided to invite the boys up for honeycomb and salmon. "How would you like to come back to our place for dessert?" said Brother. "Our berry crop is ripe for picking." "Love to," said Sister, and the whole gang headed for Frog Pond. Brother ran ahead and quickly changed the clubhouse sign to say Bear Country Boys Club, Girls Welcome. The berries were delicious. The end. So they learned a pretty good lesson in that book, huh? Like that you have to be nice whether you're a boy or girl, and you can't just judge somebody. Sister Bear also learned that she was a pretty bad winner because she would celebrate every time, and sometimes that's not nice to do to the people who are losing. So I think there was some pretty good little lessons to be learned in that Bernstein Bears book. So I hope you enjoyed it. I love you all very much. And we're gonna go to sleep tonight, and when we wake up in the morning, it's gonna be little Larry's birthday. And so tomorrow, I'll find a special book to read for little Larry to celebrate his birthday, and we'll sing happy birthday to him. So, happy last of April Fool's Day. I hope you guys all pranked your family, and I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye!